Did you know that for every liter of gasoline, a car emits 2.5 kilos of carbon dioxide? That is an equivalent of 125 kilos of carbon dioxide during a week.
During the Industrial Revolution, the increase in the usage of cars was exponential.
And nowadays we have more than 1.32 billion cars in the world.
That was the number set alone by auto industry giant Wards Auto. This exponential increment is thanks to the long distances that citizens from around the globe have to travel to their jobs, schools, or houses.
The latest cars are producing more CO2 than the older ones they are replacing. On average, 7% more according to which the big UK group owned by the Consumers Association from that country.
And the World Health Organization says that transport is responsible of 23% of carbon dioxide emissions, causing chronic diseases, particularly childhood asthma.
What is our proposal? A filter for a car exhaust that will trap the emissions and generate energy with them. We did this because we think it's more practical and technical way to help the environment drastically. It will decrease users' greenhouses and this will produce a change in our ordinary life. This project is mainly based on photosynthesis by algae. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants convert sunlight into food and oxygen. It requires two molecular ingredients, water and carbon dioxide. This is not new, since Paragram Jaggi, an 18-year-old student of the Vanderbilt University, founded an ecobite and built its first product, the CO2 carbon filtration system.
Photosynthesis is the process in which plants convert sunlight into food and oxygen. It requires water and carbon dioxide. These are the same ingredients of the byproduct of combustion, the type of combustion that occurs when an engine burns fuel and releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. For scientists, this is an opportunity. We are researching and developing strains of algae that can be grown in smokestacks and gas fumes to absorb carbon emissions through photosynthesis. Despite the promise of electric vehicles, the entry of all the internal combustion engine is perhaps the most deeply embedded polluter of the planet. Carbon filtration systems are not new. There have been previous attempts at exhaust filters. The problem with this is that they only trap carbon dioxide, meaning the polluters may leach away. The first process is photosynthesis. Within the filter will be a series of strategically located plates. Each surface will be covered in strain of algae, best suited for rapid photosynthesis. This process will sustain the algae and emit a smaller amount of carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide emissions are too fast, so there needs to be a second reaction. The placement of plates increases the surface areas of emitted carbon dioxide. This acts as a coolant and turns carbon dioxide into carbonic acid. Embedded in the filter is sodium hydroxide, which with the carbonic acid creates sodium carbonate, which is harmless, neutral, and disposable.
How this car exhaust will change the world? Well, it is expected that in 30 years, using this car exhaust, the car emissions will be reduced in a 40%. Here, you can see the chart that shows how these car emissions will be reduced. Although there will be more cars, around 700 million cars more, in comparison to the 1.32 billion cars that are to nowadays, this will still be reduced. This, according to Transport Environment, if we attach this idea to an electric motor, this will reduce 72%. Also, according to the Kyoto Protocol, in 1997, cars emissions had to be 140 kilograms per kilometer. Nowadays it's 95 kilograms per kilometer, meaning that it has reduced around 24%.